there will be spoilers ahead for Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. I wanted to make a Blade Runner analysis in honor of Rutger Hauer, specifically talking about the Tears and Rain monologue and what it means to me, as well as how I see these words impact the overall message of Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. Also, it's November 2019, so it seems as good a time as any to be making a video about Blade Runner. Before Hauer's rewrite of the script, the original monologue looks something like this. I've seen things you little people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion, bright as magnesium. I rode on the back decks of a blinker and watched C-beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhäuser Gate. All those moments, they'll be gone. Rutger Hauer was the greatest choice for Roy Batty, not just because Philip K. Dick, the author of the novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, approved of Rutger Hauer himself, saying that he was the perfect Batty. Cold, Aryan, flawless. But it was also the fact that Hauer truly understood what Blade Runner was trying to do. Simplifying the text and making the change from all those moments they'll be gone to all those moments will be lost in time like Tears and Rain, Time to Die, was a seemingly small change, but a crucial one for the character of Roy. Roy is a replicant trying to extend his life as he is nearing the end of a predetermined 4-year lifespan. Each engineer he visits contributed a piece of themselves into the replicants, which subsequently made them more human. With these designs and Tyrell's company motto, more human than human, it makes the line between human and replicant blurry. Since the release of the original Blade Runner, whether or not Deckard is a replicant has been an ongoing debate. There are details like when Deckard's eyes are glowing the same way as all the other replicants, and there's also Ridley Scott adding the unicorn dream in the director's cut. To imply that Gav leaving the silver unicorn origami outside of Deckard's door was not just a message that he spared Rachel's life, but a message that Deckard is most likely a replicant. In Blade Runner 2049, Denis Villeneuve created another debate, whether or not Joy was sentient. We see and hear advertisements for Joy saying that she's programmed to tell you everything you want to hear, show you everything you want to see, and she goes anywhere you want to go. However, we witness that she is aware of her programming and chooses to say and do things she doesn't have to. And when Love kills Joy, she says, "I do hope you're satisfied with our product." But Love doesn't look at Kay while saying it, she looks at Joy, possibly referring to Kay as the product. One of the reasons it's so hard to differentiate a replicant from a human is because we are still discovering what it means to be human. What makes us different from other sentient life? If it's the way you're created that gives you a soul, and a soul rewards you with humanity, where is the soul of a human? In fact, we can't even find the center point of someone's consciousness. And like Joy, are we not programmed? Do you choose what kind of music you like, the food that tastes good to you, the people you're attracted to, or the person you fall in love with? There are so many aspects of your life that are predetermined and out of your control. It gets to the point where the more you think about it, the more you realize so many things are already decided for you. What I'm trying to say is that it doesn't matter if Deckard is a replicant, and it doesn't matter if Joy is really sentient. Made in our image, these artificial beings exist so we can reflect on our humanity. In the world of Blade Runner 2049, you find out if someone is a replicant by having them look up and to the left. And the first thing 2049 has you do is look up and to the left. But out of all of this uncertainty, there is one truth. Humans are simply a collection of moments. You can argue all you want about what determines the person you are, but it's indisputable that the majority of your personality and existence is based on the memories you've experienced. And with that said, I've never related more to the characters of Officer K and Rachel. Rachel wanted to believe she was human, until Deckard revealed that her childhood memories were implants, confirming what she feared. K knew he was a replicant from the start, but he still wanted to believe he was special. He thought he was solving a mystery by reflecting on real memories he believed were his, uncovering a truth that may reveal he is not just a replicant, but it turns out the memories were implanted. I think this is something almost every human can relate to. Not the implants, but the effect of early memories. We tend to cherish particular moments from our childhood and hold these moments above all else. These memories make us feel unique. We believe we are the center of everything and that we're special and destined for something more. But then we get older, and reality sets in. We realize we aren't special, and everyone around us is living a life as unique as our own, and there are way more important people out there. The hopes of what you built up are destroyed because most of what you believed is a lie. You're not destined for anything, and you're just another average Joe. As you get older and start coming to this realization, your whole perception of the world changes, and the fundamental components that made you you are taken away. In the Tears and Rain monologue, Roy specifically says moments, not memories. Roy reflects on two authentic moments that he personally experienced on off-world colonies. Moments that weren't replicated. Memories that are his own. These moments are what he identifies with, the things that made him himself. As he feels and understands the emotion attached to them, he was fighting to hang on to the individual he's become. Something I love about Blade Runner is how the scope of both films feels huge and epic, yet we get immersed in stories that are small and relatively insignificant. As these moments Roy, Kay, Rachel, Joy, and Deckard experience are absorbed and lost in the future city of Los Angeles. One of the many ways the original Blade Runner goes about showing this is right here. Roy and Leon finish their conversation and then start walking down the street to visit the engineer who designed the eyes of the replicants. Roy and Leon are walking away from us, but instead of cutting to them directly in front of their destination or following them down the street, the camera lingers and moves to the left, revealing groups of bikers just riding through the streets of LA. At the end of Blade Runner, when Gav says, "It's too bad she won't live, but then again, who does?" it lets the message sink in that replicants and humans suffer from the same fate. Roy and the other Nexus 6 replicants were given a 4-year lifespan, but like us, they refuse to accept something that is inescapable. Throughout the decades, Blade Runner has been compared to literary works like John Milton's Paradise Lost. In Paradise Lost, Satan and the rebel angels free themselves after being chained to the lake of fire in hell. Satan volunteers himself to go to Earth and corrupt humankind. In this comparison, Roy can be viewed as Satan, and the fallen angels would be the replicants. When Roy is on his pilgrimage to find a way to extend his life, he visits the first engineer, also known as one of his creators. The first words Roy says are, "Fiery the angels fell. Deep thunder rolled around their shores, burning with the fires of Orc," deliberately misquoting William Blake's America a Prophecy, a poem describing modern historical events in a mythological form. The original quote from Blake's work reads, "Fiery the angels rose, and as they rose, deep thunder rolled. Around their shores, indignant burning with the fires of Orc." Through this change, Roy is aligning himself with the fallen angels and Orc. In America a Prophecy, Orc is described as a figure of creativity and passion, a fallen rebellious god who is a force of the revolution. When watching Blade Runner for the first time, the final confrontation between Roy and Deckard broke me. They set up Roy to be the bad guy, the Antichrist. He helped slaughter 23 people, and we watched him murder Tyrell after not getting what he was in search of. During Deckard and Roy's fight, well, it wasn't really a fight. This scene alone feels like a horror movie as the hunter becomes the hunted. Deckard, who is supposedly one of the best Blade Runners, is absolutely powerless in the situation and starts running for his life from a crazy murderous replicant. Roy appears to be the fallen angel beyond redemption, but then in just seconds, the storm is over and the tone changes. Roy saves Deckard after his appreciation for life evolves beyond self-preservation. In the Tears and Rain monologue, Roy mentions Tannhäuser Gate. The location of Tannhäuser Gate isn't explained in the film, but this line is most likely referencing Richard Wagner's opera Tannhäuser, a story following the Minnesinger Tannhäuser in medieval Germany. The characters Tannhäuser and Roy share a lot of similarities. Tannhäuser travels to Rome to visit the Pope and do penance for his soul. However, the Pope proclaimed that Tannhäuser cannot be forgiven for his sins. When Roy confronts Tyrell, Tyrell's chambers are coincidentally modeled to look like the Pope's chambers in Rome. Much like Tannhäuser looking for forgiveness, Roy confesses to Tyrell saying, "I've done questionable things." Tannhäuser was not able to escape his fate, and neither could Roy. Both are not given what they are in search of. At the end of the opera, Tannhäuser's soul is saved upon the moment of his death, and his soul is able to ascend to heaven. At the end of Blade Runner, I kind of preferred the slightly jarring shot of the dove flying away in the theatrical release, compared to the shot they replaced it with for the final cut. The dove appears in Roy's hand the moment he makes the decision that he isn't going to let Deckard fall to his death. The entire time he's holding onto the dove, Roy manages to redeem himself. Like Tannhäuser, Roy's soul was saved upon the moment of his death, and this shot of the dove leaving Roy's hand is representing the soul of Roy Batty ascending to heaven, so it was perfect that it was the first time in the film we saw somewhat of a blue sky. In the world of Blade Runner, we don't normally rarely see these characters experience moments of happiness. In this deteriorating society, moments of joy are few and far apart. One of the most beautiful and peaceful scenes in Blade Runner 2049 is when Joy experienced the rain for the first time. But this calm moment was abruptly interrupted and ruined by Kay's work calling him. During their final confrontation, Roy uses fear to make Deckard understand his world. All Roy has known for his short existence was life as a slave. Fear and pain are what he had grown accustomed to. However, Roy still wanted to extend that life. Life is suffering, and it's miserable. But Roy saw the pain, the loss, and the tears were things worth enduring for a chance of experiencing those brief, fleeting moments of happiness. Yet also wanting to keep those harsh doses of reality because he felt it. In his last seconds, Roy accepts his mortality while understanding the significance of a snowflake in the storm. To me, what defines Roy's humanity was not his desire to hang on to all those moments, it was his ability to let them go.